Good morning, my black folks. This is F.B. Martin, and I am a girl dad. I'm 58 years of age, and I am the father of 4 adult daughters. So, the reason that I'm here this morning is I'm doing a live stream. I want to have a discussion about black men blaming black women for the failures of our children. But more specifically, I'm talking about the failures of our daughters. Okay? So let me just read off some statistics to you real quick. 63% of youth suicides have fatherless homes. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. 85% of all children who have behavioral disorders come from fatherless homes. 80% of rapists with anger problems come from fatherless homes. 71% of all high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. So the black community, we have a lot of issues and we have a lot of problems in our community. But blaming black women, black mothers for the failure of our children, we can't do that because that's a lie and it just isn't true. Okay? Now, in the description, I have different articles and I have different research. And feel free to research and look at the articles for yourself, okay? Because what I'm going to be covering today, we need to have this open and honest discussion in the black community, right? So I'm going to start off with the ladies, black mothers, black women. Allow me to explain how marriage works for most men, okay? Most men, when they commit to marrying a woman, they commit to marrying a woman for obligation, okay? Not for opportunities, but for obligation. So let me give you an example of what that looks like, okay? Any woman, regardless of her ethnic group, regardless of her culture, any woman that decides to have a child out of wedlock and not demand that a man marry her, he has no obligation to come home to his family. He has no obligation to come home to her. Men are very, very simple creatures. That's our DNA. So if you're not our wife, we have absolutely no obligation to come home to you. Why would we? Men in general, they don't respect relationships of any woman that would have his child out of wedlock because there's no obligation there. Men commit to obligation, not opportunities. Now, this is what happens with you ladies, is when you decide to have a child out of wedlock and don't demand that that man marry you, you're allowing him opportunities. It's that simple. You're allowing opportunities. And then what happens with men, when you allow opportunities like that, they become opportunists. Because we're simple, right? Men don't care about a woman's economics. Men don't care about a woman's education. Those are non-disqualifiers for us. If we roll up on the McDonald's or the Burger King or wherever we're at, if we see the woman that we like, we're going to go for her. Okay? Economics and education is a non-disqualifier for men. So, ladies, you need to understand when you decide to have a child out of wedlock and not demand that that man marry you, he has no obligation to you. Absolutely no obligation to you. your child, or your family. He does not. Now, I know we would like for it to be opposite, but that's not the real world. Okay? And in the Black community, right, where we have some of these single mothers having multiple children from multiple men, that's what happens. Because you're allowing these men opportunities, and they become opportunists. So they're moving through the neighborhood, impregnating many, many women, because you're not demanding that these brothers marry you. So there's no commitment. Okay? That's the simplicity of it. Men are very, very simplistic. We're not hard, right? We're really, really basic, ladies. Okay. So I want to turn my attention to my research that I've done. Just to give you a little bit of background on myself, you can see it in the description. 30 years I worked with children and I worked with families. 20 of those 30 years I worked in the criminal justice system. I'm a former state of Colorado juvenile probation officer. I've been a certified paralegal since 1984 when I was in the United States Marine Corps. That's what I did when I was in the Marine Corps. I was a paralegal. Okay? The other 10 years, I worked in K-12 education. I'm a former teacher, restorative justice coordinator, and dean of students. So I've worked with children and families from all socioeconomic backgrounds, right? I've worked with all children from all socioeconomic backgrounds. So I know what I'm talking about here. Okay. Black community, when it comes to our children, right? Black men, when it comes to our children. If we are not a part of our children's lives, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, I saw the results of absent fathers when I was a probation officer. I saw the results of absent fathers in the educational system when they're not available to their children. You know, particularly with little black girls, little girls, period. When your fathers are not a part of your life, you can end up a lot of different ways. The criminal justice system is one of the main reasons Black men need to be a part of their daughters' lives. Because if your daughters end up in the criminal justice system, it's not going to turn out good for you or your family. Okay? Now let's talk about the research I've done. From January 5th of 2023 this year to May 15th of 2023 this year, I researched over 300 videos from Black content creators. Over 300, right? I put a lot of time, a lot of effort, because I needed to have a clearer and better understanding of exactly why so many millennial and Gen Z Black men come so hard and are so disrespectful to Black women. I don't understand where all this heat is coming from. I don't understand where the disdain is coming from for Black women and Black mothers, right? So I researched. That's one thing I do. I'm a researcher, okay? My legal background, there's not a Black content creator that's out there that can out-research me. That's not gonna happen, okay? I come from a legal background. So as a paralegal, that's all I've ever done is legal research on the defense side as well as the prosecution side of law. So I'm very, very well versed in law. Now, when it comes to these 300 videos that I researched, the one thing that was consistent with these content creators is the foolishness and nonsense that you're presenting to younger Black men. I came across a bunch of foolishness and I came across a bunch of nonsense. And just the hatred that you have, or appear to have, towards Black women. Okay, so some of the Black content creators claim that they're married to Black women. And my question to you, Black men, is if you're married to Black women, are your wives okay with you disrespecting Black women, calling them out of their names? Because I have 4 adult daughters, and my adult daughters are not having none of that from any man. That's how I raised them. They shut that shit down. That ain't happening. But that's my question to Black content creators that claim to be married to Black women. Do your wives give you a pass on the disrespect that you bring to Black women? Do your wives give you a pass on how you call Black women out their names? Do your wives give you a pass on disrespecting single Black mothers? I'm just curious, because if your wives are giving you a pass on that, what does that say about your wives? Are they okay? Do you disrespect them the same way, or is that separate? Or are you going to sit up here and try to convince me you can treat women who aren't your wives totally different than your wives? I've got a problem with that, because trying to process that makes absolutely no sense to me. And like I said, when I looked at these 300 videos over a 3-month period, or 5-month period, I'm sorry, over a 5-month period, very, very disheartening because of the foolishness and nonsense that I was researching. Now, one of the most consistent things with all Black content creators, millennial and Gen Z men, particularly in your videos, you have absolutely no solutions. None at all. You come at Black women hard. You bring heat to Black women very hard, but you have no solutions. Okay? And what I found out by researching these videos is that you believe, and I've known this for a while, for years, I've known this, but Black millennial and Gen Z men, you believe in the metaphor of the 1999 movie, The Matrix, right? So this manosphere that is existing today, from my research, has come, the movie The Matrix played a part of that with the blue pill and red pill. So I'm just trying to figure out, Black millennial and Gen Z men, how is it exactly you have allowed a fictional movie, a metaphor of a fictional movie, to now become your reality in how you treat modern day women? Help me understand that. Because when I look at all these videos, whether they're from Black content creators or any other content creators, when you're coming at women, you have a disdain for women. It appears that you don't even like women, right? Calling them out their names. Now, a real alpha male doesn't have to ever call out women out of their names. That's not what alpha males do. Now, beta males do it, but alpha males never, ever call women out their names. They don't call their sisters out their names. They don't call their mothers out their names. They don't call their aunts, their girl cousins, their girlfriends, their girl fiancés. They don't call women outside their names, because that's not how we get down. But that's what beta males do. So I get it. But as far as the blue pill, red pill, it's a metaphor, Black man. I don't understand how you've allowed this to dictate your thinking. I don't know how you allow this to dictate your relationships with women. I don't understand the blue pill, red pill manosphere. I don't get it. I come from Generation Z. I'm sorry. I come from Generation X, not Generation Z. I come from Generation X. And Generation X men, we don't play that shit. Right? I saw a video of a brother that had on a t-shirt that said, "Red Pill AF." So that means red pill as fuck, right? Okay. That makes absolutely no sense to me. They're metaphors, guys. But you black men have allowed this to come into your life, dictate how you move. And that's just not how historically black men have gotten down. All right. So this is what I will say about millennial and Gen Z men. You are definitely, hear me out on this. You are definitely the most emotional, feminist, softest, and sensitive black men of all the generations of black men since slavery. Yeah, you are. You really, really are. Okay? Because the way you come at black women and black mothers, unacceptable. Men from my generation, we don't accept this. Okay? I don't know where the disconnect is between millennial, Gen Z, and Gen X men, but Gen X men, we're not supporting none of this nonsense and foolishness y'all dealing with. Okay? If this is something you're accepting, this is something you're gonna hold your core values to. All right, well, so be it. Go for it. Okay. But I tell you what, millennial and Gen Z men, come at a brother like myself the same way you come at black women and single black women and black mothers. Come at a brother like myself with that same foolishness and that same nonsense. I dare you. And the reason that I'm daring you to do that is because I already know the majority of you men, after reviewing over 300 videos of your foolishness and nonsense, you don't do any type of damn research at all. And you sure as hell ain't reading no books. So I'll challenge any of you content creators, black content creators, that are obviously putting this nonsense out there, foolishness out there. Come for a brother like myself. But the one thing I will promise you, it's not going to work out for you. Okay? Because what you're not going to get to do with me, specifically because of my 30 years, my background, and raising 4 adult daughters, is you're not just going to be able to say whatever you want and make up some shit and lie and not use data. Because a lot of you brothers like using data only when it works for you. But see, I'm a legal researcher. I've researched my entire life. So come at a brother like myself with that foolishness and that nonsense, black content creators. Because what you're doing is foul. It's unacceptable. And my generation of men are not going to tolerate it. So you black millennial and Gen Z men, you better get your shit together. You really need to get your shit together and get it in order, because this is unacceptable. It's amazing to me what the internet has done. Everybody has an opinion now. Everybody has an observation. Everybody has something to say. What I do by working with all fathers is when I'm presenting empirical evidence, I have to present facts. I have to present research. I have to present studies. I don't just get to get on YouTube and make up a bunch of shit and talk crazy. That's not how the real world works. So black man, black millennial, and Gen Z man, that's where I'm at with you. Content creators. That's crazy. Okay, I have 4 adult daughters, and I'll be damned if any of you Negroes are going to come at them with the disrespect and calling them out their name. You'll get to deal with their father, I promise you. Okay, fam. I'm done. I'm out. And I'll holler at you until next time. Peace.